I do.
I'll call this meeting to order for the June 24th Board of Zoning Adjustment meeting.
Get your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
I'm still going to call this meeting to order for the June 24th meeting of the Board of Zoning Adjustment. My name is Scott Wagner, Western Commissioner and Chair of the committee. I'm joined by my colleagues, Vice Chair Joanne Lawson from the Eastern At-Large District and my colleague from the Western part of the county, John Carpenter. Although I just did your job, go ahead and do our roll call if you would, Mr. Jones.
John Carpenter.
Here.
Joanne Lawson. Here. Scott Wagner.
Here. All right, we have one case in front of us this evening. That's case number 25-104BZA. As is our practice, we usually swear in those who may be providing some testimony for this evening. If anyone in this group that I'm seeing over here may want to be doing any testifying, please raise your right hand and repeat or answer this question. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yeah. All right, you're sworn in. With that, we'll begin our discussion on case number 25-104BZA. Staff report, please.
Yes, Chairman, I'd like to add the staff report as part of the official record.
Okay.
Alrighty, so this is a variance request to allow an accessory dwelling unit to have a separate electric meter. So currently, the property is roughly 38 acres, zoned agricultural, and has access from Baxter Road. The applicants are so just some background information on it. So the applicants are wanting to build a new home on the property. There's currently an existing one, but they are wanting to convert that existing home as an accessory dwelling unit. Platte Clay had indicated, which is their electric provider, had indicated in their letter that's attached to the staff reports that extending the main electric line would go against their standards. And they indicated that for them to be able to do what they're wanting to do would need to get a second electric meter. Currently, the Land Development Code states that the accessory dwelling unit shall not have a separate address or utilities from the primary residence, which is what the variance request is for. So this is the section of code that we're dealing with. It details accessory dwelling units. Staff had done research on this code. It was traced back to the 2003 LDC. And I also would like to add that the accessory dwelling unit code was revised in March of 22, but none of those revisions dealt with this specific aspect of requiring the utilities under one utility. Let's see here. So just kind of an aerial view of what it is at the little yellow shape to the north further, that's the existing home, what they're wanting to convert to the ADU, then the approximate location for the new home, and then the barn on the property. So with all of our variance requests, we look to our Land Development Code variance approval criteria. Obviously, the full criteria is attached to your guys' staff report, and what's on the screen right now are summaries of each criteria. So each of these criteria must be met, and the burden of proof is on the applicant. The first criteria states that the variance arises from conditions that are unique to the property and not ordinarily found in the same zoning district and not the result of the owner's intentional action. Granting the variance will not be contrary to public interest or adversely affect the rights of adjacent property owners. Constitutes a practical difficulty upon the property owner and not affect the public health, safety, welfare, or nor destroy the intent of the comprehensive plan. So we got the surrounding area here. And the yellow box there, kind of near the center of your screen, that's the subject parcel. The green shaded, the more obvious green shaded area there, that's Walken State Mill. the state park, and then that purple line going down, that's 69 Highway, just to kind of give you an idea where we're talking. So staff has received calls with questions leading up to this. It wasn't support nor was it opposition, just general inquiries. We do our standard public notice requirements with variances that include publishing it in the newspaper, posting a sign on site, and sending letters to adjoining property owners. In this case, it was 2,000 feet, and we sent a total of 27 letters. The applicant has provided additional information, which includes their letter addressing the criteria, a site plan, and the letter from Platte Clay Electric. And staff would be happy to answer any questions the commission may have, and the applicants are present.
Very good. Any questions for staff?
No.
Okay, question? Just one from me, just maybe for further context. So we had an ordinance passed in 2022 related to accessory dwelling units. I guess what I'm wanting to understand is on this particular issue that has been brought before us, does the current code say that those extra electrical boxes are not allowed, or is it just silent on that issue? I wasn't quite sure based on.
Yeah, so the accessory dwelling unit code had a complete, not a complete, but an overhaul of it to make it more consistent with local jurisdictions. We wanted to be, on the same page with that in terms of builders. But when we did that revision, that section that we're requesting a variance from was not a part of any changes. That's been the same one since 2003.
I see.
And I would add, it currently states that you cannot have a separate utilities. So all the utilities have to be connected to the main house.
Sure.
And I think really the reason for that is if you have two separate houses on one parcel, people seem to think that they can sell those separately. And
Sure.
Obviously that's not the case.
Sure. Okay, I was wondering if it was more like that. Okay, perfect. If there are,
I have a question
Please.
of the people that are.
I'll ask them to come up next
Okay, great.
if we're ready for that. So thank you. And so the applicant's here. Come on up, and we'd love to hear from you.
Hi, I'm Chris Weston.
Ashley Weston.
Nice to see you. Please go ahead.
Did you have a question?
Well, go ahead and kind of make
Yeah.
your presentation, and then we'll get to those questions.
Yeah.
It's kind of perfect with what was stated. We reverting back to our letterhead, we do meet all of the different justification for the variance. This second meter wouldn't be, I guess, an accessory. It's just what's needed to be efficient. So we're not asking, for the second meter just for.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we have been, since we bought the property, even before we bought the property, we've contacted planning and zoning in regards to building on this property, knowing that there is a small farmhouse on there. And so Kip has come out physically to the property, and he has gone over all the requirements needed in order to build along with, or whether we even met the criteria, whether that would be an accessory dwelling. And so we've been going through that, and as we've been going through, we knew that it all needed to be under one infrastructure. And so that was our goal going into this. We already knew that prior to. And so, for example, our water actually comes out of Ray County. So we don't have Clay County or Platte, or whatever, wherever our water comes from.
Yeah.
And
Ray
so
County? Sorry.
we had to go in front of their board twice because they wanted us to have a separate water heater or meter. And they denied us the first time. We went back a second time with the policies that planning and zoning has as far as one infrastructure, and they then granted us for us to have the one meter. And now that we're in this process and we're talking to individuals, they're saying that we need to have a second electric meter for the structures that we have on pace there.
And if I understand on that point, that is primarily because of the the electric utility in this case is requesting that.
Yeah, Platte Clay
Yeah.
Cooperative had also submitted a letter.
Well, are they requesting it?
They're the,
Okay, yeah.
We'll get to others to speak to that. and-
clarify what you were asking.
Gotcha. Let's go ahead and finish this, but we'll bring you up to clarify that. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So why don't we go ahead into the questions? Commissioner, you
okay.
had a question?
Yeah, the only question I had was, have you started construction on the new home yet?
yes.
Yes.
We were able to deem the existing structure as an accessory dwelling unit. So we then had started the build within that 100 feet guideline. And we are, what we break ground October of 2024.
Oh, okay.
We got the,
We're all the way up to the electric part.
yeah, the electric part, yeah. We actually, this kind of withheld us a month to get on this meeting.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to do much. 'cause we-
Now, what about the old farmhouse? What's going to happen to that?
It's a mother-in-law suite. My mother, we were gonna move her into it and take care of her. She has dementia.
Oh.
And so we were going to have her close to us, and it's livable right now. It's got nice siding and windows and a roof on it, so.
And it's small, obviously. We
Yeah.
can't be over, I think, is it 825?
850.
850 square feet. So it's just a little one bedroom, one bath, kitchen, dining room,
It's
living room.
almost perfect
Yeah.
for her.
And that doesn't hurt anything with them occupying that second house, even though it's...
No,
Yeah.
as they said, I went out there and looked at the structure, and we went through line by line. Did it meet all the requirements to be deemed an accessory dwelling unit, which is the only time that we can have two houses on one property. At that time, we felt it did meet everything because we didn't know about the electric meter needing to be separate. So
Okay.
at that point, we said, yeah, hey, you can get a permit for a new house. And then they came back and said the Platte Clay is saying that extension is too long and it doesn't meet their standards. So that's why we're here tonight.
Okay, and then we had no negative comments from those letters that we sent out?
No, ma'am.
Great, good, okay. That's all I got.
Okay. Commissioner, any questions? No questions. Okay. Then go ahead and have a seat for a minute, and I'll call for any further testimony. And sir, this is your cue.
Thank you.
If you would introduce yourself, please.
I'm Dave Holland, and Chaz and I are the builders on the property. Can we go back to that overhead, Kip? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I don't know what I can do it up here. This one?
Yeah.
Or the other one?
That one.
Okay.
So the small square on the top right is the existing old farmhouse. And meeting with the electrician and the Platte Clay Electric, basically on the other side of Baxter Road there is where that transformer is. They don't prefer to, you got a pointer?
Mr. Jones is adept at coloring things on slides, so thank you.
So the transformer sits about right there at this point. They were only, that transformer is set up to run the house and the existing barn down on the bottom. And he looked back, clear back 6 months when they were living and using both of them. He said it was only pulling about 6 amps, watts. I'm not an electrician. So that far of a distance for that barn was not that bad, and that little house is not pulling that much. He would rather run just the old house, and that would never pull enough off of that transformer. But down here below the pond, he would rather come in here in between the house and the old barn and run the barn now off of the new house. He said it would run so much more efficient. And the biggest problems, we've met all the other criteria. We're within 100 feet of the old house, rather than putting it further back on the pond. They have chose to do geothermal, which lays laterals out in this field. And because of the position of the new house, All the septic is right back there. So it very limits our options of where we can, how to get to this house. And this is way more than, from that first red X on the top right, to the house, to the barn, you're over 300 yards. He said every time you turn on a light in the barn, it's going to affect the little house or the new house. Lights are gonna dim. And with the good equipment, efficiency nowadays, it's gonna burn up his equipment. It's gonna tax his equipment. Because they've spent a lot of money on this geothermal system. And with all the other newer upgraded electric things that are going into the house, that's too far. Both the electrician and Platt Clay says it's pulling way too far.
Okay. Questions of this witness? Okay, thank you very much. A very good explanation. Is there anything further, sir, that you would like to offer? Okay, that's totally fine. Then we'll have a little bit of discussion. Mr. Jones, is there anything you wish to add?
No, sir.
So one question that I have for you, Mr. Jones, based on the answer to my previous question, is there any, I think what I gathered from your answer to my previous question was a anxiety, because I won't call it fear, more of an anxiety that in a sense, by doing an extra, by doing that split and putting an electrical service directly to that house, that's kind of a de facto splitting of the property, or is that really a concern?
I mean, if we did it on every case and there wasn't an extenuating circumstance, then I would have concern.
Yeah.
But with just a one-off that has a good reason of why they need that electric meter, it doesn't give me heartburn at all.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. So let me throw it to my colleagues. Yeah, Commissioner. Oh, you're going to do something. Okay. Commissioner.
Yes, I don't think this affects the comp plan. I think this is a unique circumstance, and I think there's good reason to have the separate meter.
I think you're nodding, so.
I was just ready. I was just going to say I'm ready for Commissioner Lawson to make the motion.
He's ready for you, so go for it. You're recognized.
We approve case number 25-104 BZA.
It has been moved to approve 25-104BZA. Is there a second?
A second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve case number 25-104BZA. Mr. Jones, please call the roll.
Joanne Lawson. John Carpenter.
Yes.
Scott Wagner.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries for case number 25-104BZA. Congratulations, sir, and good luck to you. Thank you all. Absolutely. So the next item on our agenda is other business / director comments.
So I know this is going to be heartbreaking to the three of you, but we are not going to have a July meeting.
That is something I'll have to work on getting over, but I will do my best. That is fine. Is there any other business to come before the body? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Well, that's up to you now, isn't it? So
Thanks, John.